How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Aliens, Dust to Dust. This is a Dark Horse comic, based on the Alien movies. This is a standalone story, so you don't need to have read any of the other Dark Horse Comics Alien books to understand this. And this is 4 issues, so it's a little on the shorter side, but that keeps it moving relatively quick. And that is a big thing with this book, is it is a very fast-moving Aliens book. And here's the little chest burster in this fun poster design. And the going price for it was $17.99. I found this in a used bookstore. I think I got it for $8. Open it up, and we can see the credits page, and this really fun image there of your main character trying to get away from a whole bunch of aliens in this really fun art style. But Aliens Dust to Dust, here's something really interesting with this. The script and art, so story and the drawings, are done by Gabriel Hardman. So one guy doing both those duties. It's really cool. That way he can make sure that whatever is in his head, he draws it how he sees it. So that's pretty cool, and you don't always see writer-artists being the same guy. Coloring by Rain Beredo, lettering by Michael Helser, and the front cover art is by Gabriel Hardman, colored by Rain Beredo as well. But the back cover art is by Carlos and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of those names incorrectly. If I'm mispronouncing any of those names. After that, we get this introduction, and I really have to say how much I appreciate this introduction. Here he talks about Houston, Texas, West Oaks Mall, 1986, and you find out that this is when he was 12 years old and he first saw the movie Aliens, and how he felt like it was the most intense experience he had as a young kid. And then he talks about seeing Alien later, out of order, but that's just how it was back then. He saw Alien later on VHS, and talked about how he felt then. And you see this book, it's a 12-year-old boy, and you see by telling this story, he's kind of trying to capture how he felt when he first saw the movie Aliens when he was 12. So it's a really interesting concept, and I do really love this letter to understand, that this guy really does care about the franchise he's writing for, which sadly these days you get a lot of writers that really don't care about the franchise they're writing for. But here's, this personal story, and him talking about rewatching the Alien movies before he did this job to make sure he got everything right, and just the care here. I really do appreciate this, and I really was glad to see this. Anyway, you get this cool cover page. So from now, for this next little bit, I'm going to talk a bit about the plot and show you guys some art, but I won't do any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on some plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what this book's about. But I'm going to try to keep this within, say, issue 1, except for maybe a few things, but I am not going to do any major spoilers. But that being said, there's no breaks. There's no chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It's all told like it was one big issue, and the breaks aren't super obvious where they are. You have to know and be counting how many pages. I think there are only 20 pages per issue. But yeah, it does read really fast, and without the breaks, it feels like one big book, and yeah, you do kind of read it like that. So, Dust to Dust, you get this kid just waking up, and he doesn't know where anyone is, and he sees some guy down there below him shooting at something. So that is an interesting way to wake up, but of course a stray bullet comes in through the window. So he's scared and he goes to his mom, and you find the mom has been gotten by a face hugger. And here's this interesting thing right off the bat to let you know that this, is a book that features a young kid, but it's not a YA novel. He looks in the mirror and he sees he's got a shard of glass in his face and he has to pull it out. It's, man, little details like this that just really help, sell the atmosphere and the tone and stuff. And the facehugger, of course, falls off the mom, and the mom gets up, sees that everything is going crazy, and says, "Okay, kid, we have to get out of here right now. Grab a bag, and we're gonna head for an escape ship." You also see here that this is Torno Colony LV 871. I'm really curious as to how the LV system works for planets. I'm sure I could look it up and someone will tell me about it. But the mom is distressed and she decides to go. Now, there's a little bit of a, what we as an audience know versus what the characters do. The mom's feeling a little bad, but she's going to try to pull through and help her kid out. And the kid, of course, loves his mom. But kind of like when someone gets a zombie bite in a movie and that character's done for, this whole time we're watching this character and there's a sense of dread about the mom because we know that she's gonna die because of that face hugger, but the characters don't know. Anyway, really nasty out there. They decide to leave, and of course they see, because the kid at first thinks it's just the face huggers, but no, there's the giant alien. And I guess it's here I should mention, because this is a pretty cool frame, I really love the art. It's in focus enough and clear enough to see what's going on, but it's not afraid to lose itself to textures and shapes. And I find that a lot of times these horror books, they have way too clean of artwork, and it really doesn't sell the fact that this is grungy, this is scary, this is horror. And I think here's a good line, because sometimes they get a little too dirty and you can't see what's going on, but here's a good line as to really grungy and textural, but you can still see good enough what's going on the page, and it still sells it. And I really do love this art and this coloring here, and I love this picture of the alien. But you see, you can tell it's the alien, but it's made out of all these little textures. That's really cool. But anyway, they're going to head towards the garage and get their car and try to make it to the escape ship. And that's what the plot is going to be, is getting to the escape ship. But of course, it's not going to be that easy. And there's going to be some twists and turns when they get to the escape ship. But really, this opening sequence really does remind me of, say, like the opening from Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, where it's this really crazy, gotta run, gotta go, gotta get out of there. And of course, this is the first act, and I'm not gonna spoil, what happens after they get to the ship and how things change and how, this goes through a few different phases, but it is pretty much, one thing leads to another. This happens, run, this happens, and I'd have to say that this is probably the closest an alien book gets to a zombie book. You wake up, you have to run, they're everywhere, and you have to get to the escape ship and get off planet before Weyland-Yutani just leaves you there to die. And it is a hectic race to the finish, and I really, really do love this. It's really cool, and also, like a zombie book, you don't really know who's going to wind up being a main character, because people will pop in and out, and you won't know, is this person important or is he not? Like, you get this guy who's one of their bosses, and he's really cool, and he's like, look, you have to do this, and he'll just say, be silent to the kid. And even though he's gruff, he makes the cold and logical decisions that need to be made to get everyone out of here alive. And then you get like the co-pilot who is not going to make as good of decisions. Really does feel like the basement guy from Dawn of the Dead. And then you get other cool characters like the main pilot, or this one lady that you don't really know too well, but happens to be important towards the end. And it really does have that zombie story character motif where, you know, you're just with strangers and you don't know who's going to be big, who's going to be important. And I really do like that. Here's some of the cover gallery at the end there. Really do like these crazy covers they gave it. But yeah, it really is a crazy action book. It never lets up, and by the time I was done reading this, I put it down. I took a breather. I read it in a day, and I really didn't want to stop. And, you know, stupid real world things get in your way and you have to put the book down. And this is one of those books that when I put it down, I always was like, I don't want to put this down. And I stayed up after midnight reading it just because I was so invested. And it does pull you in. And this is one of the better just standalone Alien stories. This fun and crazy thing. And there are a few other things here too. One, they talk about the aliens, why they got so many numbers so quick is they ate a bunch of these, or bred in a bunch of these artificially changed hogs, and how they said that they could see some of the hog in them after they, you know, chest bursted out of the hogs. And they don't look too different. I think they might run on all fours more often. And I think they have more head ridges, and I think that's the biggest thing. But of course, me as an alien nerd, I'm like, okay, so most of the aliens here are going to be first generation hog, and then I guess you would eventually get a hog queen, and then the hog queen would make eggs, and then those eggs would go and get into a person. So they wouldn't be the same as you would initially see if it was, you know, a person straight up, like the one we see in the Alien movie would have been a first generation engineer, at least first that we know of, and then human. So these are first generation hogs, second generation human, and I think that's why we get more of these head ridges. But I'm always curious about alien genetics there. And then we get to see one thing later in this book that you don't see too often. I'm going to keep the book close. I want a tight shot of this because I don't really want to spoil anything. But there we go. Check this out. This is a mature chest burster. So this is a chest burster, and it's gotten a little bigger, but it's not a full alien yet. So it's taken on a more purpley color, and you get the more defined alien head, and the arms are a little bigger, and it's bigger and longer. And I don't know, just being an alien nerd, and to see a mature chest burster was super, super fun. And I do like getting to think about things like alien genetics, and the mature chest burster was super fun. I'm not sure if we've seen these before. I haven't read all the comics. I really want to, but this is the first time I've seen this. Maybe I missed something in a movie somewhere. It's entirely possible, but I really like to see that. Now, this is really fun, and it's almost entirely perfect, but there is one thing, and I won't say specifically what it is because I don't want to do spoilers. But there's a twist here with this one-armed alien. This is one of the aliens they encounter multiple times. And there's a twist with it. And it's one of those things that I'm like, I'm not entirely sure if this works. I mean, it's kind of cool, and it's something that I guess could happen. But some people may think, okay, this is dumb, and with this plot element, you've kind of crossed a line here. But it doesn't take too much away from the book, because even, you know, if you ignore this, the rest of the book is so very, very good. Alien as a zombie movie, run, crazy, endless chase scene. But this thing might divide fans as to whether what the twist with the one-armed alien is. Like, some people say it makes sense, some people say that's stupid, they've gone too far. I think it's okay, but it might be too much for one people. It's not like this big giant twist, but it's something that I'm like, I'm not entirely sure if that would happen, but maybe. I don't know. It depends on your tolerance for this sort of thing. And I really want to know in the comments section, if you've read this book, what did you think of the twist with what's going on with the one-armed alien? Did you like it, or did you think it was too far? Because I'm kind of torn about that. Part of me liked it, part of me thought, I don't know if this should happen. But I'd be curious what you guys think. But regardless of that, the rest of the book is so very fun and fast-paced, and like I said, it kind of took a bit out of me by the end. I put the book down and just sat in the chair and stared off into space for a bit, and it really is a good, intense alien book, and I really like it. I definitely want to read more alien comics. They're always so fun. I've reviewed a few alien comics on the channel already if you want to check those out. So that's about all I have to say about this one book. So to everyone who's watched so far, watch me review this, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You're really helping the channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist on the bottom where you can find my other reviews for the Alien and the Predator comics from Dark Horse. But anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.